This is the Bliss Blog. Welcome. This week's post is, "It's elemental, dear Watson." Pagans from time immemorial and indigenous peoples everywhere share a common tradition, the acknowledgement of the four, sometimes five or six, directions, also called the four winds or the four elements. The most widely shared ways to honor north, south, east, and west. A few throw in above or above and below. When modern day practitioners of natural magic do this, we refer to it as calling the quarters or opening the quarters. Traditionally, when one casts a circle, creating a space between the worlds for sacred works, the first step after the creation of the circle itself is the calling of the quarters. So here's how we do it. We face north. We might draw an invoking pentagram in the air as we imagine cold north wind on our faces and visualize mountains and say an invocation for the energies of the element of earth, which is associated with the north. Then we repeat this to the east for the element of air, offering incense, to the south for fire, lighting a red candle, to the west for water, sprinkling blessed water. We draw the invoking pentagram for each, visualizing its energies, saying its invocation, either the one shared by our particular group, or one we've read somewhere and adopted, or one we've written ourselves. Here are the invoking and banishing pentacles. You say the invoking when you're calling the element in, and again, when you're taking up the circle at the end, you say the banishing pentacle to wish the element farewell and thank it for its help. So why do we do this, and what does it mean? To indigenous groups, honoring the directions was simply that, honoring them, thanking and communing and acknowledging and aligning with their energies, seeking wisdom and guidance. To early Wiccans, though, it went further. They imagined elemental guardians stationed in watchtowers at each of the cardinal points around the circle, to protect it from astral nasties who might try to come in. This seems to me, no offense to anyone else, just to me personally, like a basic misunderstanding of how the universe works. We determine what comes into our circle by what we are, by our state of mind, body, and spirit. We bring our own vibration into the circle with us, and everything that matches our vibration is thereby invited in. We're like little planets with all our shit in our orbits, the good shit and the bad shit alike. Our beliefs, attention, focus, expectations, experiences, programming, those are the gravity that holds things in our orbit. And some of these are mutable. We can change some of them. We are the ones making this life experience up as we go along. By erecting watchtowers and filling them with guards, we're creating something to guard against. Our expectation that dark, dangerous energies are going to try to get into our circle is what invites dark, dangerous energies into our circle. They can't even exist in our experience unless we believe in them and focus on them and expect them to show up. It's all vibration. It's all our wavelength. So when I call the quarters, I leave all that guard and protect stuff out, and I go back to just honoring them. I try to experience the element's presence within me, air moving in and out of my lungs, and water in my blood flowing like rivers through my veins. The power of my heart and the force of my passions, the spark of life itself, my soul, those are fire. And my solid, stable physical form, that's earth. In our complicated brains, well, when we activate the energies of air, we open our minds to fresh new ideas and inspiration. The air element speaks to the energy of youth, exuberance, innocence, potential, and new love. Common air and east associations are springtime, dawn, youth, the maiden aspect of the goddess, innocence, potential, the Fool card in tarot, pastel colors, daisies and apple blossoms and other spring flowers, breezes, birds, insects, fairies, birth and rebirth, awakenings, incense, aromatic things, travel, communication, study, invention, writing, speaking, singing, acting, all forms of communication. Air represents our mental faculties and our mind. Now, with elements of fire, that's in the south, we're tapping into entirely different energies. Fire is summertime, high noon, vivid reds and oranges and jewel tones. It's heat and light and passion and energy. It's competition and triumph, ambition and winning, sex and passion. Adulthood in its prime, peak moments, passionate love. Fire represents our passions, desires, and spirit. We move on then to water in the west, which cools the fire, tempers it. Water is a forming, shaping element. Think of the way a sword maker pulls the sword from the forge and then immediately thrusts it into a tank of water to lock in its shape and temper the steel. Water is associated with sundown, with autumn, with healing, deep emotions and feelings, understanding, maturing, knowing, calmness, mutation, evolution, psychism, change, deep abiding love. It's later adulthood, empty nester, postmenopause, when we really truly come into our power. Water involves our reason, our experience, mastery, healing, evolution, and magic itself. Water represents our emotions, heart, and wisdom, and it's associated with the west direction. And then there's earth, the north. That's the element for earth, winter, aging, and manifestation. Earth energy is solid, permanent, reliable, unshakable, set in its ways because it is form. It's power, old age, and wisdom. It's completion, fulfillment, wintertime, midnight, old age in its positive aspects. Aging need not include decline. We can thrive, croak. That's what I intend to do, and I'm still in the thriving part, so far so good. Earth is fulfillment. It's knowing and calm completion. It represents solid things and good luck. It represents money and wealth, job and career, home and property, and the physical body. Earth represents our lifetime's experience and our physical forms. I was recently asked how to decide which element to use in magic, and I realized we must never use just one. It takes all four to bring anything from a notion to physical beingness. If you pay attention, the elements are the very stages of manifestation, as well as the four sides of the witch's pyramid: to know, to will, to dare, to keep silent. Air is the spark of the idea or desire, to know. Fire is its burgeoning growth, to will. Water is its forming and shaping, to dare. Earth is its manifestation, to keep silent. Now, there are depths to be explored of the witch's pyramid. I will just, for this lesson today, say that to keep silent is because it is done. And even before you see it, you need to keep silent. Don't keep asking, where is it, where is it, where is it? Don't keep talking about how it's done. Assume it's done, treat it as if it's done. That's the keep silent part. Okay. We'll go into that one of these days. I believe there's a full elemental lesson in the book that I'm working on. We'll talk about that later. Each of us are all of these things. We are thoughts and ideas, and the child we once were lives within us still. We are passions and excitement, and the peak of energy lives within us still. We are feelings and emotions, and all the knowledge of our lifetime lives within us always. And the abiding experiences of our physical lifetimes are what complete us, and they too stay with us always. Now, here is a spell using each element, but if you pay attention, each also incorporates all four. So here's a wintry spell for springtime. I use a potpourri burner for this, as it has a candle underneath and a heat-proof dish over the top for heating the water with the herbs in it for potpourri. Alternatively, however, prop a heat-proof dish over a candle and get the same effect. Use your imagination. You can figure this out. So I use a yellow candle in the bottom, and I fill the potpourri dish with a gemstone to represent each of my springtime desires. A ruby or emerald for health, especially heart-related for the emerald. Silver or gold for abundance. A moonstone for psychism. A rose quartz for love, and so on. Hold each stone and visualize your desire. Evoke the feelings you'll have when it's real. And think of small ways in which it already exists in other parts of your life. Do not feel the lack of your desire, the longing for your desire. Don't feel those things. Feel its presence. Feel how good you're going to feel when it's real. Pretend it's real now. See other areas in your life where this thing already exists. Place each stone into the dish as you finish charging it. Now, you're going to cover all the stones with snow. And if you don't live where there's snow, take some ice cubes out of the freezer, smash them up with a meat hammer, and use those instead. And then cover the stones with the snow or ice, and then light the candle. Now, hold your hands over the snow as it melts, slowly revealing the gemstones and your springtime desires as it does. If you like, you can say a verse such as, "Power of the winter snow, gestate treasures soon to grow, melt away with springtime's glow, sunshine's magic makes it so." And it's done. Here's an air spell for inspiration. In the morning, tie your hair with a yellow ribbon, saying, "Yellow ribbon in my hair, inspiration in the air." Do this for 3 consecutive mornings using the same ribbon, and sleep with that ribbon under your pillow all 3 nights. On day 4, take the ribbon outside and tie it to the limb of a tree where the wind blows. Leave it there for another 3 days and 3 nights. On the morning of the 4th day, take the ribbon down from the tree and tie it into your hair again. Wear it all the rest of that day and sleep with it under your pillow all that night, and it is done. Keep the ribbon somewhere safe. Wear it whenever you feel the need for new inspiration. And after 6 months or so, you can repeat the spell to recharge the ribbon. A fire spell for victory. Carve a V for victory into a red candle, and then carve a clockwise circle around the V, and then carve a spiral from the bottom to the top of the candle all the way. Rub the candle with cinnamon so that some of it clings in the grooves and into the V in the little circle. And remember, even with the spiral, clockwise. The whole time you're working on this, be visualizing your victory, planning your acceptance speech, feeling the feelings of winning this challenge or achieving this goal as if it's happening right now. This is always crucial. Invoke feelings from previous wins of this nature. Now place the candle in the holder, light it, hold the hands over it, and say, "Fire dance with light and heat. I thrive in this and every feat." And it's done. Now let the candle burn while you meditate or do other workings. Snuff it when you leave the room. Repeat each day for 7 days until the candle is spent, and then bury the stub in your yard with thanks. A water spell for healing. Fill a silver bowl with pure spring water and place it into the direct light of a full moon. You should be able to see the water, the moonlight in the water as you gaze at it. Now, so hold your hands over to the bowl, gaze into that moonlit water, and say, Goddess, beam thy healing light, and chant this water clean and bright. See the water absorbing that moonlight and know it's being charged with divine feminine energy and healing power. Now you need a photo of the person in need of healing, even if it's yourself, or a personal item belonging to them. You could even use a lock of hair. Submerge the item or photo in the charged water. And now the moonlight should still be beaming into it. Holding your hands over the water now, you must visualize clearly the person or the problem being completely healed, bright and shining and whole and better than ever. Do not envision the problem at all. Only the aftermath when it's gone. And say, a healing spell, and all is well, and all is well, and all is well. A healing spell, and all is well, and all is truly well. And it's done. Wicca Evolved. The book I'm writing, Wicca Evolved, has an entire chapter on empowering our connection to and understanding of the elements, with a week-long elemental intensive exercise and a complete set of quarter calls and releases you can use or tweak to your liking. It's going to be 13 chapters when I finish. Each chapter is a lesson. 5 are done so far, and those 5 are already in the paid subscriber section of this site. Every chapter will be as I get them done. It's slow going because I write fiction for a living, and it's hard to fit the nonfiction in between, but I'll get it done. And as I do, each chapter will be uploaded to this site for my paid subscribers as I finish it. And when I finish the entire thing, I will also upload the whole polished, edited, illustrated version of the ebook to the files here. It will be available for purchase at all the retailers, but here it will be free for paid subscribers. That's it for this week, folks. Stay strong. Remember to focus more on solutions than problems, more on wins than losses, and more on hope than fear. And remember, the light always wins. See you next time.
And now a word from our sponsor.
My vampire romance series, Wings in the Night, is buy one, get one free at Barnes & Noble. Book 1 of that series, Twilight Fantasies, is on sale for $2.99, and it's also included in the BOGO sale, so don't miss out. By the way, you can also read the entire series for free with Kobo Plus. See you soon.